Hey guys, Joel Seidman here. In this video, I want to go over one of my favorite variations to use for performing chest pressing exercises, and it's called, or I call it, the head off chest press. And just as the name implies, instead of sitting towards the edge of the bench down here and having our head resting on the bench, we're going to scoot back and our head will actually be off the bench. I'm going to demonstrate it here for you in a second, but let me explain something here about cervical positioning and how it affects the T-spine and the rest of the spine, particularly when we're performing something like a chest press. So let me go actually take a step back here and give you the example of something like a seated row, or really any type of row, but let's just say a seated cable row in this example. I'm going to angle myself here so you can see me. If I'm doing something like a seated row, okay, or again, any type of row, when I come all the way back and fully retract and get good T-spine extension, really get a good squeeze and contraction throughout my back muscles, it requires very tall spinal positioning and posture alignment. Okay, so as I come back, boom, I squeeze, I'm nice and tall, okay, and I'm not overly tucked like a lot of people would recommend. I have a good elongation of the spine, and I have good cervical elongation, not this overly tucked position. But when I do that, what you'll notice is that the back of my skull, okay, or the base of my skull, is actually the most protruding point of my body, okay? And what happens is when we do a chest press on a bench, the bench actually prohibits us from being able to keep the head all the way back, and it ends up doing this. So you can see how my head is kind of pushed forward here, like very slight and subtle, but it is significant cervical flexion, okay? Just enough that it affects my shoulder positioning, because the shoulders and the T-spine are directly affected and impacted by what is happening in the cervical spine. So if my cervical spine is like this, I have a forward head tilt. You'll see this a lot in people that have poor postural alignment. When their head is forward, their shoulders are rounded, okay, they're elevated and protracted, okay, and unfortunately, you can actually have the same things going on when you're doing a chest press. When my head is tall and pushed back and elongated, okay, my shoulders will naturally pin back. I'll naturally get good T-spine extension. So let me show you what this looks like here. Instead of performing a chest press, I'm going to give you the standard variation for a second. Okay, because my head is here and it's kind of pushing on my neck. I feel like I need to be able to actually push my head back farther, because right now it feels like I'm fighting this bench to get good positioning. So what we'll do, scoot back just enough here, and I'm going to have the edge of the bench near the base of my neck. Okay, that will allow good positioning. I'm not tilting my neck back, I'm just pushing it back by getting good T-spine extension, getting my chest out. So right here, you notice as soon as I do that, what happens? I get better retraction, my chest sticks out even more, so I actually get even better stimulation to my chest. And now everything's much more open instead of so closed off in here. Right here, again, control, I can really open everything up, really squeeze my back, and I actually can produce even more force than I could as if my head was off. And I'll actually see this a lot with my clients and with my athletes. Once they get comfortable performing chest presses with their head off, they actually use that as their preferred method for doing chest presses, because they feel more powerful due to the fact that they have better shoulder positioning and they get that good retraction. And then the last thing I want to go over with the head off position, it's very conducive when you use an incline position, okay? I'm just going to show you very small here. I'll go up just a notch. With the incline position, I'll literally slide down unless I drive with my feet. So it's very conducive for teaching someone how to drive with the legs, okay? So right here, my head's back. If I don't drive with my legs, I slide down. So again, I really have to drive with my legs the entire time, squeeze my glutes, otherwise I'm just going to slide down the bench, okay? So that's the tutorial for the head off chest press. You can do it with any type of chest press variation, standard barbell, dumbbell, incline, flat, but give it a try. Let me know what you think, all right?